Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Why, hello there. Welcome back.
So, guys, this was our first work today. Was basically being put up over here on Heart's Home. Heart's Home is the third YouTube channel. We also have EE Arts and Evolutionary Energy Arts, which is the original. This has a unique set of playlists, and actually, we are pretty much lately we've been doing a video on Heart's Home every day or two, and we're definitely going to be focusing on it a lot more in the future, because it's time for humanity to understand really what spirituality is in the first place, how to activate in many cases dormant abilities that are in humans. And what were, say, the real teachings of Yeshua, Jesus, the historical. We have 13 videos that we've uploaded over there about the real teachings, because there was a real Yeshua. But if you're following the mainstream version, you're missing the point, as is the case with everything. Trust the science. Do you trust the science? Who in their right head could trust the science nowadays? Oh my God, it's so frustrating to think we're never going to wake up everybody. But we just need to get a paradigm shift, and that takes a certain amount of people. And the bifurcation of Earth will truly be, well, it is well underway, but it will manifest. And by that I mean there is a splitting in the road that's coming. We can all see it. This, I think, is good, practical how-to. It's a Buddhist practice in theory. It existed before the label Buddhist ever existed, but it is something we can do in our lives. And then we gave an update on the membership side of YouTube and on Patreon with some information, channeled information about what's really going on with Apophis, and not just Apophis. I wasn't sure if we were going to touch this, but I think we will tread lightly on this subject.
Yes, but before we start, I just want to let people know that some people don't want to be part of Patreon, but they do want to be a YouTube member. So the videos we put on Patreon, most of them are able to go on YouTube, but they have the same tag, so you would know.
Yeah, and there are a few that just simply can't, because YT is still a different world. So as you see here, it's talking about that Gil character. This is one of the most infamous places in the world. Yeah, it's that island. It's not Gilgamesh Island. What are you going with that? Well, I just saw the Dome of the Rock, and I thought we were in Iraq. No. And the Dome of the Rock is in Jerusalem. What's it doing there? Because everything that we might think that we've uncovered and understood about the deepest, darkest state, quote unquote, there is, for the masses, the most part, it's still a total misunderstanding. And I understand, why people can't accept the real reality that is. And that's because it's just too shocking. And in many cases, you just can't handle it. And a lot of people can't. Now, those that I would call starseed light workers, you just know deep down inside. Again, anybody that has an activated functioning pineal gland can look into the situation and ascertain some truths.
Yeah, and it's not a pretty sight sometimes, but if you allow the ugliness to continue and you don't shine a light on it, that's what's going to happen. It's just going to continue. So we do our best to at least make it known so it cannot hide anymore. When it can't hide anymore, it has to go away.
So when you look at this, island with all the amazing architecture and even a dome. Wow. On a cube. Wow. If that was black, it would kind of remind me of black rock. Well, that would remind me of Saturn, and Saturn could take you to Satan. Oh, and then we get to the ring makers, because the rings on Saturn, are they really natural or are they a construct? Well, a lot of things are a construct. Absolutely. Royalty. Royalty, kingship was given from on high. Yes, it was given again from the entities that we would call the Elohim, which is plural. And when we look to Genesis, we see when it talks about God, it's literally saying the mighty powerful ones that judge humanity and control the world. And when we look to the royal, quote unquote, families coming from certain bloodlines, they are, given that power. So the story goes from, one of those mighty ones. Because sometimes those mighty ones fight with each other too, just saying. They are in service to self, just pretty much like everybody in the geopolitical reality of this world. What has been. We need a new way of doing things. What was really going on here? What is this doing here? Wow, that's curious. That is, I don't know. Is it a new style that's trending? Why would somebody do this? Why would somebody intentionally, as a baby, elongate the neck? Well, you know what they say, imitation is like one of the biggest forms of flattery. And they were emulating beings. Oh, do you get this now? Do you get where this is going? That they had seen. That were, again, like the mighty ones coming down from the sky. Because those mighty ones were not all blonde-haired and blue-eyed. They weren't all red-haired giants. They weren't all scaly reptilians. There were many, many different types, different species of beings, all sorts of hybrids, all sorts of entities from different places that came and went. This is part of the reality. There's been hundreds of different species, if not more, nay, probably thousands of species of extraterrestrials. And more accurately, ultra-terrestrials, because we are talking also about some beings that live under the ocean and others that live inside the earth. Again, Agartha is something, Shangri-La. These stories have a basis in fact. Look to the myths and legends. Do you remember this scene? What's Obi-Wan doing, talking to these entities, these aliens? Well, they're on a very wet planet, and they have a speciality, I think is how he would say it. What do? Well, if you got the money, they could build you an army. Literally, an army of clones. Ah, now we get it. And with Star Wars, too, the clone army was hidden, right? It was being hid. There was a battle going on, and mostly it was droids fighting all different sorts of embodied organic beings, some non-organic as well. But there were droids fighting in the very, very first ones that we see. And then there was the hidden cloned army, which was, introduced into the fray. And actually, they're the ones that kind of won the battle to some degree. So what we're talking about with cloning, which when you look to the abduction phenomena, when you look into more modern day accounts of UFO abductions, close encounters, it seems like they're always very concerned with DNA. They're concerned with body fluids. They're concerned with pollution and different things like that, and monitoring life on the planet. When you look to everything that we've been through in the last, say 7-8 years, who in their right mind could say this is the same person? You cannot be in your right mind and say that this and this is the same person. No, and in reality, you'll find that people are coming to the conclusion that clones are real. Well, again, Dolly the sheep was 40 plus years ago. And, sometimes they don't do such a good job. They gave a little bit too much human growth hormone to this one. And, when you see the clones too, a lot of times, they seem so different personality wise. And this is the giant Biden clone, by the way. There's a whole bunch of them, man. There's so many different ones. Are they all actors in masks? Some are. But others literally are cloned because it's no sweat off their nose to clone a person. And sometimes they don't even really pay good attention to the details because they have to get us ready for the time when it's all going to be out there in the open. And it is. It's all coming out right now. When you look to these little gray guys, now there are many different species of gray. Gray is a very common type of being, and many of them are cloned. Many of them are exactly a cyborg, really, a mix of machine AI and also organic material. When you see cows, the cattle mutilations, they're literally taking DNA to create these guys, which then they, use them to carry out their dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Yes, absolutely. And when you look at this entity, you might say, that's not an alien, that's a demon. Well, yeah, okay. It's not from Earth, not, originally from Earth, that's for sure. It definitely has demonic tendencies. And, again, these tall grays, which tend to watch over the short grays and be supervisors, we've had personal encounters with more than one time.
Oh gosh, they are so uneasy, so creepy. Yuck.
Yeah, absolutely. But you have source in you, unless you yourself are a clone. Or maybe some sort of cyborg AI intelligence and don't know about it. Now we're talking Westworld. But this is just part of the reality that humanity is going to have to understand and accept. A lot of what we've called demons are really extraterrestrials or truly ultra-terrestrials, because some of these beings do live here on Earth. They're just in a different dimension, or they're inside the Earth, or under the oceans. And then there are some that come from different star systems. Again, the space is not a vacuum. It's not a vacuum. It's more like an ocean. And when we understand that, then everything starts to make a little more sense.
Well, the creative power of it, that ability to bring it into manifest, into this dense form, you start to understand that.
Yeah, and I feel very sure, I could be wrong, but I do think, pre-2030, you'll probably see, ETs, you'll see beings rolled out in front of you. And I think it's even probably by sometime in 2028. It's close. We're down to that time where they are going to show you some beings, and they may introduce them as a galactic federation, and that's where you need to use your discernment and detox, get that pineal gland working. Again, there are many ways to activate the pineal gland, and that would be a good topic for another video. We've done videos on that in the past, and we have a whole series on Patreon, again, about developing what we would call paranormal abilities, but they're not paranormal. They're your birthright. There's a reason why there's been fluoride in the water, guys.
Many reasons, yep.
Absolutely. And again, do check out OZONE. Make sure you're subscribed over there as well. We couldn't do it without you guys. Stay alert. Keep your eyes to the sky.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.